Hey guys, good afternoon. So, the Security Council has agreed to continue negotiations today to allow for additional time for diplomacy, and the presidency will schedule the adoption for tomorrow morning. Okay?
10 a.m.?
No, we don't know that yet. We're going to put it in the morning. Thank you.
Postpone again.
I already said it.
As pen holder, I think the President's comments reflect the consensus of the Security Council discussions in close consultation today. As the pen holder, we are aware and are part of very high-level discussions that are happening between capitals to try and reach a text that will in fact be adopted. The overriding objective of this resolution was always to try and positively impact on the ground for the people who need it the most. We have been working overnight, hours, long hours. You have been here covering it, and we appreciate your patience with the Council. But we believe today giving a little bit of space for additional diplomacy could yield positive results, and we are going to be optimists and try and do that. If by tomorrow the diplomacy... I'm sorry, but it's okay. That's all right. I hope your camera isn't too damaged. Maybe a new one for Christmas. If by tomorrow those results have not been yielded, then we will assess as a council to proceed at pace to a vote on the resolution for us.
Yeah.
Where you don't have agreement, or you're still discussing?
I
Thank
think
you.
without going into too much detail, because these are council deliberations, but I think everyone wants to see a resolution that has impact and that is implementable on the ground, and there are some discussions going on about how to make that possible.
Madam Ambassador, are the discussions going on between Hamas, Egypt, and Qatar impacting the decision to delay, and could that change the text of the resolution?
Those negotiations have been ongoing, stopping and starting since the start of this conflict following the 7th of October attack on Israel. Those conversations will continue, and they have not been raised in council deliberations. They are not part of our discussions on the text. That is responding to a humanitarian crisis that we have seen in Gaza, and with the backlog of humanitarian aid not able to reach Palestinian civilians on the ground in Gaza. That is the response that has been drafted by the Council as a result in response to that. So, yeah.
I mean, compared to yesterday or the day before, are you more optimistic today?
I believe that capitals that have equities in this file are engaging at the highest level of diplomacy to reach a text that will have impact on the ground. Diplomacy takes time. It means evolving conversations, and people are giving it their attention at the highest levels of the capitals that have leverage on this. So I think from that sense, you have to be optimistic in diplomacy, otherwise we wouldn't all come into this building every day. In that sense, I am optimistic, but in another sense, if this fails, then we will continue to keep trying, because we have to keep trying. There is too much suffering on ground for the Council to continue to fail on this, and we haven't failed. We have a resolution, 2712. We need to build on that resolution, and I hope we will also adopt a humanitarian resolution that responds to the crisis on ground.
One more question, please, about your position in your national capacity about the role that the UN should take in monitoring the implementation of the resolution. Do you think that this should be a UN mission, or the UN should take should monitor the implementation, or other parties?
I think that the UN has one of the most trusted brand names globally. It has credibility and it has experience on the field. So I think the UN is the organization that we have for implementation, and I think countries in the region have come to the UN asking for their support in the face of this crisis. So this is a resolution that was born out of a conversation and discussions at the ministerial meeting in Riyadh. It is an Arab OIC discussion about the immense burden that regional countries and partners are facing in terms of scaling up humanitarian aid into Gaza, and in particular Egypt, which is why Security Council members, many of us incoming and present, went to the Rafah border crossing with Gaza last week and saw firsthand thousands of trucks and the convoys leading into Gaza that are unable to go in, medical equipment that is unable to go in, ambulances that are unable to evacuate wounded people. We met with wounded children in the Al Arish hospital. The Egyptians are doing a phenomenal job on the border of Gaza to try and support the Palestinian people, but this is also fundamentally needed to be supported by the United Nations and by all regional and international partners. So I think we do trust the UN to have a role here. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your patience. Yeah.
Regardless of what this diplomacy yields, will this still go to a vote?
This will go to a vote. The UAE's penholder will bring this resolution to a vote, and we hope for a resolution that has impact on the ground and is adopted.
Do you expect 10 a.m.?
I expect in the morning.